So we're here in Canberra. Tony Greco is with me. We've been going through the budget. Tony's been going through the budget papers all day in the lockup up at Parliament House. For those members who are interested, these are the budget papers. Tony has had to go through those, and our team, in fact, with a fine-tooth comb. Tony, an interesting budget. The Treasurer, Jim Chalmers, has handed down his second budget now. He's delivered a surprise surplus that we probably didn't forecast in a sense, but a $4.2 billion surplus for 22-23. It goes back into the red in coming years. Were you surprised, first and foremost, with the delivery of the surplus?
It was flagged, but it's a remarkable turnaround. And you're right, we go straight back into structural deficits for the foreseeable future. So it's short-lived, absolutely. But 4.2, it's not rounding error. We're in the black.
So the analysts are saying that it's buffeted by commodity prices, job growth, and also immigration growth. And looking at the immigration numbers forecast over the forward estimates, they're going to hold steady at over 260,000. So that's a really big indicator for the economy, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the immigration alone will add to GDP and I think soften the blow from higher interest rates, absolutely. So we've got some favourable headwind, as you said, commodity prices, and then we've got the lowest unemployment rate for 50 years, but we've still got 1.1 people on job seeker. So that's where, but historically very low unemployment, and that is helping bolster the tax receipts.
So cost of living pressures are a hallmark and centrepiece of the government's budget, and that will continue to unfold in terms of the impact of that in coming days through the analysis we'll provide to members as well, and what it means for clients. But some benefits to households, benefits to small business around cost of living pressures? Yeah,
obviously there's some energy relief. It'll be administered through the states, and that sounds a bit clunky, but those who are recipients of government welfare are the ones that will essentially receive those benefits. For small business, the one that we were looking at quite closely, which we had to wait till tonight, was the instant asset write-off. Mm-hmm. So what we have is a situation where we've got, again, it's temporary, it's 12 months extension, mm-hmm. and it's not unlimited anymore, it's $20,000. So again, the guessing game will be on again at the end of next year as to whether it will be extended. What we do know is between now and the end of the year, you've pretty much got full asset write-off. So enjoy it while it lasts. That's going to be an impetus for hopefully our members telling their clients, you've only got between now and the end of the year to get a full asset write-off. There is a caveat in the sense of cars were still subject to car cost limits. So mm-hmm. that's roughly around $64,000. So beware, it doesn't apply open slather for all asset classes, but that's one significant. What other measures? There is some energy relief for small business, but that will be administered by the states. It's quite clunky. It will vary state by state. And then the issue will be the definition of small business will be as per a state-based definition. So we've not full details haven't been disclosed on that, but that is one thing that isn't highly visible, and it will vary state by state.
So the government's also introduced a range of other measures, a lot of, from a headline perspective, around health costs and health funding, around Medicare and rebates, job seeker changes as well, and enhancements to job seeker, housing affordability, a critical focus, as well as the overall fiscal strategy. So the government's talking about, over the course of the forward estimates, bringing debt down, and therefore bringing interest payments on that debt down over what the Treasurer terms as a medium term. We don't know what medium term necessarily means beyond forward estimates, but they're strong indicators, I think, aren't they, for the longer term view of the economy?
Well, I mean, these extra social welfare measures will be inflationary. I think most economists say that it's hard for it not to be. But giving the relief in relation to energy prices hopefully will not put money in people's pockets. It actually reduces the energy cost. So I think they've been smart in the way they've delivered that particular incentive. But job seeker, yeah, we've got 1.1 million vulnerable people that are subject to cost of living pressures. So I think most people would argue that's warranted, but it also locks in future spend.
And the interesting thing to watch there in some of those measures, particularly around the energy relief measures, will be the way they've been targeted by the Treasurer or the Treasury around the CPI indicators and the components of CPI to ensure they're not inflationary and potentially reduce pressure on interest rates, or perhaps reduce pressure on the Reserve Bank.
Yeah, I think they've gone out of their way to try to make some of this support translate to reductions in CPI, which will then therefore put lower pressure on. Because CPI is used for a lot of uplift factors, rents, for example, a lot of government charges. So if you can get that number down, it has a multiplier effect. Absolutely, Andrew.
So it's going to be interesting to see as well in terms of the tax system. There are some changes in this budget around the tax system and some very broad statements around tax compliance for members to be aware of. We're going to continue to unpack that. So tonight, as we work through that information that has been released by the government, members will be receiving technical advantage in your inboxes, so that when you get into your practices first thing in the morning, you actually have that ready to go, so when the phone starts ringing. But the important thing around the tax measures, the tax compliance measures, is in many ways that I was going to say that holiday period or the grace exercise by the ATO, as the Commissioner told our members this week, the jig's up, and that the ATO and compliance is here, and it's going to come in a big way.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Once agencies like the ATO get more money, that means more interaction. So that means more scrutinising of past returns and present returns. So absolutely. Some of the target areas are rental properties. There's a high error rate, so they're going after that. But there's also GST as well. They haven't actually told us specifically what, in relation to GST, they expect to recover lots of money from. But absolutely, giving more money to a key agency like the ATO, I think it's a reminder to tax practitioners swim between the flags. So that there are not a lot of tax measures, so that's the positive. I mean, they're a low-risk approach. Superannuation balances greater than 3 mil, and they've gone after multinationals and PRRT. So there's not a lot of tax changes tonight, Andrew.
So it's going to be that number that the government has uplifted the forecast on the ATO. It's around $440 million over the forward estimates in increased compliance activity. So it is a key message for members. So keep an eye out for technical advantage. Tony, thank you for all the work that you and the team are doing to bring that information to members and for being in the lockup. Thanks for being locked up for us today, Tony. But for members, keep an eye out in your inboxes for the technical advantage coming your way. And also importantly, around our Tax Agents Guide series coming up in June. So if you want to get the most up-to-date knowledge and information as we critically analyse the elements of the budget, what it means for you and your clients, Tax Agents Guide is where it's at. Our events right around the country bring you all the information, particularly around work from home changes, big changes coming in that front. So keep an eye out for the TAG series coming up around June. So Tony, thank you for your efforts, and we'll keep members updated as the budget continues to unfold.